great-grandmother never owned a cookbook, and I'm not sure she owned measuring cups, but she was an amazing cook. It was many years before I realized that the secret was not that she was particularly talented, although she was. It was that she knew and understood how the dishes she made worked. How much flour went with that much butter to get a particular result, what would happen if she added an ingredient, how to improvise successfully. That was the hallmark of every good cook in the days before the internet gave us a million tried and trusted recipes. Well, now we have a book that brings us back to that skill and teaches us how to cook as opposed to understanding how to follow a recipe. Today, I'd like to talk to you about my favorite cooking book, Ratio by Michael Ruhlman. Now, this book was written to teach home cooks to cook as chefs do, without the detailed recipes and methods, because they know them by heart, the basics. And once you have the basic formula, you can move on to improvisation. So Ratio has 32 of those basic formula, and then offers variations and why they work. So Ratio changed the way that I think about baking and the way I approach baking. Before I read Ratio, I could improvise on some things like soups and stews. But I thought, cooking is one thing, baking is a science, you need a recipe, you need a scientific background. And which is kind of ludicrous because my great-grandmother never took a food science course in her life. She knew nothing of protein and hydration ratios. But once you learn the ratios, the whole world of the kitchen opens up to you. So you'll be making amazing bread, or baking a cake with no notice, or my personal favorite, shortbread. So once you understand the ingredients and how they interact and the ratio that transforms the parts into the new whole, the sky is the limit. So it's a great book for that. This is definitely not a cookbook. I will warn you, these are recipes sometimes, but what it does is help you understand the food and how it works, what it does. And the best part for me is when an experiment doesn't work, I know why. So if I had too much eggs or flour or butter, I know that that's what it is because of how I know how it works. Or if I break the hollandaise, which I used to make from an envelope mix, don't tell anybody, I now know why it broke, and more importantly, what to do about it. So Ruhlman writes, and I agree, and I quote, "I believe it is a cook's moral obligation to add more butter whenever you have a chance. Sauces sense fear and will use it to their mischievous advantage. So I've broken many sauces, and I am still a happy and productive member of society. If you make them, you will break them, and what matters is how to fix it. It's even more satisfying when you have been brazenly challenged by your sauce and you come out undaunted." End quote. So this teaches you how to fix it. And finally, actually the most useful feature of this book is the cover. It has a chart here of all of the ratios in the book, and I have a copy of this on my fridge, and I could tell at a glance, the ones I don't have memorized, exactly what I'm making, 2 seconds, done. So pick up a scale, pick up Ratio at the library, and bake yourself some shortbreads. I will guarantee you, you will not be sorry. Michael Ruhlman is one of my favorite cooking authors. His thing is to translate the art of the chef for the home cook. His previous book was The Elements of Cooking, and it's about the desire of many foodies and food lovers, no matter what your education or your budget or the size of your kitchen, you approach cooking and eating with confidence and poise and wring every last drop of enjoyment out of cooking. This is why I love Michael Ruhlman, and he is on a quest to make cooking as accessible and straightforward and creative as possible. He has many award-winning cookbooks. He wrote Chef Thomas Keller's French Laundry Cookbook, author of 13 books. He lives now in Cleveland, and his photographs appear throughout the book.